So here we are again, guys, and I'm just gonna say, the drone nerf. It's not so much a nerf; it's actually pretty good. I've noticed my Fenrir lasts a lot longer with this drone, and believe it or not, this 100,000 damage that you've got to take within the 3 seconds on here. I don't know what they've done. They must have tweaked it or done something, because when I had this as a normal microchip in my Fenrir, damn near impossible to get that to trigger. But yet, now that they've done this, I don't know what they've done with how they've done it, but this chip, it works, and it does work. Again, I think the Nebula is going to be for your more tankier robots. The eye drones, the Octane drones, they're going to be for your more damage dealing drones. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can use the eye drone for close range or long range. Either one, it still works. You're not going to obviously keep your bot alive, but if you're a pure damage dealer and you just say, for instance, you're running an AJ with 2 glaciers on the top of it, yeah, you run it with Deathmark or something. Yeah, run it with Deathmark, and in these slots you have like a suppression chip or a lockdown chip in these 2 circle slots. You could even just go for lockdown, and in fact you could even just put a lockdown in there, lockdown chip in the top one, control resistor in the bottom one, stop you from getting locked down as quickly. But yeah, you at your death mark or your healing, and then let rip with all your fire, and then take to the sky and melt them with the inbuilt flames. You're gonna do a shit ton of damage. Same with the Hawk. If you're running the Hawk, I suppose a good one also, like with this little one, so your Scorpions, if you're ready to blink in behind someone and you're running especially the sonic weapons, deadly, absolute deadly. Death mark them, blink in behind them, hit them, blink back out, gone. We do really well. But other than that, yeah, it's not too bad. It really ain't too bad, to be honest. The Octane drone, I've not had that much play with it, to be honest. I had an hour last night with games. Had a little tweak around, a little mess around with certain things, but to be honest with you, I've kept it pretty much simple, pretty much the same as what I had it before before the drone thing got done. It is a bit sad with some of the drones. My Wasp drone, that is useless now, unless you're going to be running a long range setup. Yeah, it's really just, I'm not fussed about that. Yeah, the acid sprayer, I don't see really where it's going to become any good. It might work good if you stick the in the arms socket, if you put the either the rocket shooter or the rifle shooter. This is going to be, the Wasp drone is going to be for a long range robot. Some at playing at range. You've got your 2 triangle slots where you can put modulative intensifiers in, or you can put the what is it? The healing intensifier chip. I can't remember which one it is, what they call it now. But bang 2 of them in there with circle one, especially if with your circle chip you're going to put a freeze chip in there. Stick a freeze chip in there, you're going to gain the extra 20% damage every time you build up an accumulation, especially like on your pulsars and that. We've gone through it before. Your pulsars and any of the weapons that use a accumulation factor, put that in there. Put one of the opposite. If you've got lockdown, put freeze. If you've got freeze, put lockdown or suppression. You send that extra bonus from your accumulation. But to be honest with you, the drone nerf, it's balanced the playing field. That's the biggest way that you have to look at it. Is you're no longer going to have these wallet warriors who have got these drones that are chipped up to hell with absolute souped up chips, and you just don't stand a chance. This really has leveled the playing field. I've found that in my games. My Fenrir is lasting a lot longer. My Shell's lasting a lot longer. The Typhon's doing good. I must admit, did a test with Rob last night on a just on a normal little custom game, a little private game, and was going on with these shield chips. Now, personally, the way that it's looking at the moment is that the Aegis shields might be the better ones to have. And also, the better ones to have are the ones that activate after this 70k of damage in 5 seconds. It activates multiple times. It's only got a 5-second cooldown. So, once the shield disappears, 5 seconds, takes 70k of damage, it's back on again. And I must admit, it works very well. I was using the other ones. To be honest with you, I think that these Aegis ones are actually going to be the better ones to have, only because you get a fixed number of shield capacity. So, for instance, with the Absorber shield, we think it's based on a timer. At the purple level, it seems to be something like 1.5 seconds of shield. At the gold tier, which Rob has got, it was like 2 seconds. So, it's not too bad. Once I get some more of these chips, I'm going to do a much more in-depth test as to how long the Aegis shield lasts. Whether it has to deplete the whole amount of shield before it can start the cooldown going, which means that you've got 20k. Say you only take 5k of damage. Say this shield activates, you only take 5k of damage. That shield might stay active up until that other 15k has been depleted. If that's right, then that's kind of good, because you've got a little bit of a protection bubble there, which is going to last you until it's completely gone. A bit like how the normal Aegis shield works. Once it's been all depleted, it's back on again. And to be honest with you, 20k at the purple level isn't actually that bad when you think about it, because the Aegis shield itself isn't very strong. You need to oomph it with fortifiers to really get a good amount out of them. Like with my Typhon, for example, the Aegis shield on the Typhon, let's just go back to my main hangar. The Aegis shield on the Typhon, look, this is Mark II level 7, and it's only 47,000. You're getting 20,000 in them other ones. And like I say, if that lasts for the whole until that amount is completely depleted, it's actually pretty good. Because the Absorber ones just disappear after the timer. The Absorber Aegis ones, they might actually last a lot longer. So if they do last longer, they might be the better ones to go for. Because at the end of the day, the shield still is impenetrable. Is the Aegis shield. It has to deplete before you can take. Nothing can bypass through it on the Aegis shield apart from explosive damage. Like if a shell goes off, or for the shells, for the Hellburners, because they all bypass through the shield. But it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. I'm going to be saving. I really want to give. What's that one? See, it's only 15 kits, so it's 5% less, but this will activate more times. As soon as you take 70k damage, you get a 15k shield. Be interesting to see what it's like at a gold level, how much you get on a gold level, because bearing in mind, if these keep popping up all the time, you're not taking as much damage. I've noticed with my Fenrir and with my Fenrir, this pops up a lot of time. It is really good. I must say, it is really good. Once I get another one, I'm going to be putting one on my shell, because my shell's the one where once it reaches down to 30%. Now, I did say in the last video I'd have to check and see what happens, because it says here it activates at 30%. 30% is the same amount on your last stand threshold. We have watched it. It's about 1mm to 2mm above your last stand that this shield will activate. So it will protect your last stand, but like I said, these Absorber shields, they're only lasting at purple level for 1.5 seconds. That's it, 1.5 seconds, and then it's gone. So I'm thinking the Aegis shields will be the way forward, because they've got a fixed amount to them of how much damage it can take, and then it will disappear and the cooldown will start. So once I get a few more, we'll give it a few more tests. But other than that, yeah, it's not that bad of a nerf. Like I say, it might be a nerf, it might not be a nerf. It all depends on how you want to look at it. For the low down people, this is a buff. It really is a buff for balancing the playing field. So you've not got these people with these stupidly overpowered drones that are just keeping the bots alive for a ridiculous amount of time and dealing tremendous damage in one go. You're not going to get that anymore. This has leveled the playing field. So I think I judged it a bit too harshly, personally. Yeah, I'm not going to give Pixonic an apology though, because fuck them. At the end of the day, all they ever want to do is get money out of us all, and they do underhand tactics like they did with all the shotgun nerfs and everything. As soon as a new weapon comes, introducing a new weapon or bot, they nerf the previous one to shit so that everyone wants to go and get the new one. So fuck them, they're not getting an apology. But I'll give them a little pat on the back and say they might have half done this right. Only half. I still think there's more that can be done. But hey ho, it is what it is. We keep playing the game as we do. I mean, over 6 years I've been playing it for, seen every single meta come and go, seen what happens with them all. Something new comes, people pick up new stuff all the time, the events. For anyone who's wanting any of these new drones, I must admit, on the special delivery, I've already done this because I got 600 tokens, so it was only one opening, and then the next one was the special prize. I'll show you what I got. That's what I got. I got the iDrone, which, happy days for me, to be honest with you. I already had another one. I've got 4 of them now. So depending on what happens with like the shell, I think once the shell gets, if the shell gets nerfed, I'll bring my Blitz or my Phantom back out. That could be good. Preferably the Blitz. I haven't run the Blitz in quite a bit of time yet, because I enjoyed it when it came out, especially with the Clive Vicious pilot. He does really well. Must admit, it's a good tactical bot. The glider might be a good one for it, I'm not too sure, but I'm not a fan of the phase shift. Bearing in mind, if you're running the phase shift, you really want to have the modulative intent. You want to have the pilot skill of modules expert. Make it last as long as you possibly can. It increases the duration of your phase shift. So the longer you're in phase shift for, obviously, the more your timer ticks down to your next ability. But it's a good one to have. Also maybe run the foolhardy quartermaster where it gets to 50%. I know they've knocked out the bug that they had on that, where if you got down to the 50 it would trigger, but then if you healed back quickly it could trigger again, especially with the phase shifting renovator. It would put you back up above that 50% threshold, so it would activate again. I do believe they've stopped that now. It can't happen anymore, but I'm not too sure because I don't run phase shift. But it's only a quick video, that's about it, peeps. And well, yeah, it's not that bad of a nerf when you look at it. Just take your time, set your drones out for what you think that they're going to be better going with. If you've got the Nebulas, you've got the iDrones, you've got Octane, you really want to be running, pacing them out for what's going to work best. High damage dealers, use your Octanes, use your iDrones. Distance, I'd use your iDrone again. For pure on brawling and health, your Nebula's the one you want. And bearing in mind, I will say this one thing. Obviously, this chip that I've got in here, which is the 70% damage, it's got a 5-second cooldown. With the test that I did with Rob, we did actually get both to trigger here. We got my shield to trigger at 70k damage, and then whilst it had the 5-second of cooldown where it can't activate, we actually managed to get this to activate in the 3 seconds. So not only did I get the shield, I then straight after took 100k of damage in the 3 seconds, which gave me the 58% repair, and then immediately after that, I took another 70k, and this absorber shield popped back up again. It kept me alive for ages. Rob had a hard time. Well, he would have had a hard time if I was fighting back, but was basically doing it just for the simple fact of seeing how it all worked, seeing if they'd work together and everything, and it did. So it was happy days. But yeah, good luck out there. The nerf's not as bad as what people think, especially even what I thought as well at the beginning, but hey ho, it is what it is. We all judge sometimes too harshly or too quickly.